I just want to put some criticality in. There is a lot of things going on about sustainability, about fashion. I just want to discuss it a bit of, with a critical eye into it, what it really means. Where Albert Einstein said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to have when we created them. And that is so relevant in today's context, that we have to change the way we think. Technical textiles is fabric or fibers or yarns made for a technical application. If you want an aesthetically pleasing garment, I'm not the person, as you can see. But what we can do is, we can bring together to create something meaningful which is sustainable. Is cotton really good? Now you will see a lot of contradictory information there. For example, to grow 1 kg of cotton, you need 40,000 liters of water, grows in certain climates, blah, blah, blah. Fact.
You can have a bottle of water every day for 15 years. 15 years! That's the equivalent amount of water to produce 1 cotton t-shirt. That's staggering. A lot of countries rely so heavily, their whole infrastructures are built about growing cotton. What fair trade does, it puts a floor on how low the price of the cotton will drop. Because if you haven't got that, what can happen is these farmers are growing it and they're actually getting paid less than it costs to produce it. Fair trade is so much better, but there are still serious issues to look at. So another good thing that fair trade does, it demands that there are fair conditions for labour standards, and they're audited and they're checked and they make sure everything's okay. Fair trade, from the money they get, a lot's put back into this to help those growers, those farmers, in terms of tools, in terms of sponsoring people, in terms of helping people who are actually growing this.
More importantly, cotton is produced in lands where you can grow food. And our global population is increasing, so people need more and more food. So really, cotton is not a solution to our problems. Organic cotton, obviously, it is good, but not all. The world population is increasing. So we need to supply that demand for everybody. Organic cotton takes 20% more land to produce. And there are people in the world who is going hungry. So organic cotton is good, but not the long-term solution. This is another example what we are doing, because washing is a serious problem. Means you will see 80% of the carbon footprint of a product actually goes into the washing cycle. So to decrease that amount of washing, we are doing, say for example, chemistries like cyclodextrin, very clever chemistry. It can hold a molecule, then it can release it whenever you want-ish. And we are putting those into the fabric. And we need to understand how now we can make it available to our fashion colleagues so that we can make real product out of it. And that, for me, is the foundation of the future fashion factory that Sarah will talk about.
The promotion of sustainable development in the fashion industry should be at the forefront of everybody's mind over the next decade. No one should die for fashion. This was a headline in April 2013 when 1,100 workers lost their lives at Rana Plaza in Bangladesh. A 9-story garment manufacturing building collapsed on them. They made clothes for most of the high street, stores that you and I know and love. These factories are servicing our growing demand for fast fashion. It's a $1.3 trillion industry per year, over 300 million workers. So what happens after we've worn it? Well, it's sad to say, but only 1% of material making our clothes actually goes to be recycled. The rest goes to landfill. It costs the UK economy £82 million a year to take our unwanted garments to landfill.
So if we can buy something and bring it back again and reuse it or recycle it, those kind of terms, that's got to be a good thing. There are sort of 3 main things we can do once we've got some clothing. The best thing to do is to reuse it. Recycling, that's a bit of a different term. That's when you're basically taking that materials and breaking them down often and turning them into something else. So we've got reuse, recycling, And obviously the worst of those options is disposal. We just throw it away. So we need to change the status quo of what we do.
A recent report suggested that by 2050, if we carry on as we're going, clothing production will be treble that of today's figure. We need a new, more sustainable textile industry, one where products stay in circulation longer. We've got to change. Us as consumers have to lead the way. And it's really hard to think about, isn't it? We are bombarded on a daily, moment basis with clever marketing strategies to the point where by the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month, you're crying out to buy that product. Consumers lead the companies. And the reason I know this is because in 1984, I became a vegetarian. Back then, they didn't even count the statistics of vegetarians. And that's because there was so few of us. I used to go out, I used to say, have you got a vegetarian option? He said, yeah, just pick the meat out. And I used to be horrified. Fast forward to now. 6% of the global population are vegetarian. There are stores and there are restaurants dedicated to cater for that market. So you know it's possible. You know companies will grow and meet the demand of the consumers if the consumers require it. We can lead the way.
It's all very well trying to recycle everything, but you've got to have a use for that material at the end. It's not like recycling a cardboard box which is made entirely of cardboard, put it in, smash it up, dissolve it down, produce new cardboard out of it. No problem. Look at what you're wearing now. I'm sure it's generally quite a complex structure. Even the sewing thread, the labels, things like that. So sorting is hampered by how complex clothing tends to be. Now there are ways around this. Puma's thought of a rather clever idea. They've made some garments completely out of one material. So everything in one of their fleeces is made of polyester. So you can basically take that fleece, melt it down, you've got molten polyester, you've just got polyester there. But that's not always practicable because different fibres have different properties. It's better to have a big pile of polyester than a big pile of all sorts of stuff. Because we can maybe do something with it. Or a big pile of cotton, or a big pile of wool, or things like that. You know what your raw material is going to be coming out of it. But the future is bright. We are doing some really exciting things. Don't be disheartened by thinking, problems, we can't sort this out, we can't solve it more elsewhere. We don't have to. It'd be great if we can, but if we take steps towards them, that's the kind of work that we do in the Future Fashion Factory.
If you buy less and choose well, it works better. Save up. Don't just go out and impulse buy. Save up. So that when you do go to buy that product, you love it. It becomes your new best friend. And you wear it constantly because of that. You take pride in that. I have a dress on that I bought at a Bring and Buy Get Together. We set the boundaries of Get Together. It was for dresses, and we all went along. And you can either swap if you take the fancy, or you can actually buy. I think these are brilliant. Get some girlfriends together or boyfriends together, have a glass of wine or a beer, swap clothes. Why not? Rent clothes. Now you heard it here. This is something that is an emerging trend, and it is going to take off because you will have fresh clothes in your wardrobe every single month. They're on subscription models, so you always have something fresh in, and you decide. You tailor it. There's mood boards. You can tell them your size, what type of thing you want to wear it for. Fantastic. Buy second hand. Because can professional people who haven't got a massive amount of time, is it possible to go out with a budget and hit second hand shops, vintage shops, and get really great clothes to wear for work? Well, I did it, and I felt really good. And it didn't break the bank. And I was recycling. I think if the only thing you take away from today is this, that fast fashion isn't free. That someone somewhere is paying. Be the change you want to see in the world.